Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/thebplus and subscribe today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre!
You're not good at this, get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy! Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar!
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy!
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, the moss covered, three-handle family Gradunzo.
Mamma mia!
And now,
Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
number four, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Tuesday. I guess this one's going to be coming out. It's Monday as we record it. Wrestlemania has finished, and it's time to talk about the whole weekend. So joining me, the whole team is joining me. Let's start right under me in the list in the chat that we've got here. Basic Dandernomics.
Word life.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder what that's a reference to.
Living large, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. I'm starting to get sick again. Sitting in too close proximity to my child who was sick because she hangs around other children, and children are weak. I don't know if you know this, and it really frustrates me.
You should try posting more social media videos with her, because I think you only posted 7 today. My timeline was just you and your fucking kid watching WrestleMania.
You actually count them?
Well, I did like
obsessive, Danders.
Once I was scrolling and it was all you. I was like, I'm gonna go and fucking count these.
Well, you know what? I had a good time watching WrestleMania with my child, so
clearly,
deal with it. Also joining us, Hawkins Woo. I don't even know who this is. Hawkins Woo?
Yes, me, big boy.
Ah, big boy. How you doing, big boy?
Stoked.
Yeah.
The streak's over.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm happy.
Yeah. I think you spelt Hawkins Boo wrong.
Nah. No. I love Hawkins.
And of course, our WWE stan, C-Jaii. How you doing, buddy?
Doing absolutely fantastic after a wrecking ball of a weekend. How you doing?
Yeah. I'm pretty good. I think we should start with NXT and then go through a bit of Hall of Fame and then talk WrestleMania. But first, I just want to get out there that this was a really good weekend of wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Surprisingly good. I had very low expectations, especially for today, but I feel like it kind of blew me away overall.
Yeah.
100% agree with you.
Big time.
I just want to touch on something that Danders just said real quick. Every time I open my social media over the last, 24 hours, the first thing that will pop up would be videos of you and your daughter. So, yeah, well done, Danders, for picking that up.
2 minutes in and it's just stacks on Greg.
How dare I, right? How dare I love my child?
No, it was
you
actually...
are all just mad because your lives are hollow and empty and meaningless.
No, you know, it had nothing to do with that. It was actually a good change-up because I didn't have any spoilers on my page because I watched it I will admit I watched it a little bit later than normal. I didn't get to watch it live because I had a bit of issues with the network. So I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a couple of minutes and let it load. So I logged into Facebook, and the first thing I see is you and your daughter talking about NXT, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Not a real fan. You didn't watch live. Not a real fan. Let's start with NXT Takeover New York. Now this is going to be pretty quick to talk about because it's just match. Started with War Raiders versus Blackachet. War Raiders do another one of their crazy Viking entrances, and ultimately end up retaining the titles, which I think most of you called that, but I was hoping that Blackachet would take the titles and turn them into floating titles.
Yeah, this was good. It was a nice. I just totally interrupted Mikey. This was a nice little opener. I quite liked it. I'm not respecting the system. It was a nice opener. As someone who's not super into NXT, I still found this really entertaining. The entrance was boss as fuck, especially for NXT.
Yeah, I love this match. It started off the weekend for me. Like I'd seen a couple of the small independent matches and shows here and there, but this really kicked off the weekend in spectacular style for me. Hansen is, for me, one of the best big men in pro wrestling right now. He always has been. He's doing it at another level. I can't wait to see them go to the main roster within the next 12 months. They're going to be awesome on the main roster. Sanity was supposed to be awesome too, but I think the War Raiders will be safe. Awesome opening match for me. Loved it.
I'm going to call you out there, big boy, because you say everyone is the best big man in the business. Like everyone. Like if at any point we're talking about Jonah Rock, he's one of the best big men in the business. If at any point we're talking about Jeff Cobb, he's one of the best big men in the business. Like I'm pretty sure I've heard you say that sentence more than almost anything else.
Other than Baron Corbin, every other big man is the best big man in the business. So my name is Big Boy Mikey. I'm going to support the big guys, whether they're tall, large, chubby, or whatever. I go with the big boys. All right.
Yeah, there was some really good stuff in this match though. Like obviously the acrobatic stuff that Hansen does and how like he mirrored Ricochet or whatever with the springboard and tossing Ricochet, like just throwing Ricochet into that springboard clothesline doomsday device double pin, and then Aleister Black hitting the double. There were bodies everywhere. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, but ultimately, as we said, War Raiders retain the title with the Thor's hammer and the big... What do they call the leg drop spot? I don't even know what they call it.
Yeah, the Thor's hammer, I think. Yeah, Thor's hammer, yeah.
No, the Thor's hammer was the bit before that.
Oh, I always thought that was... Yeah, I'm not too sure.
They win with some kind of Viking-related maneuver. And, yeah, it was... I have this down in my notes. I have this as... I feel like this was the best opening match in TakeOver history.
Yeah?
It's a strong call. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you.
Strong call.
Unless, wait, did the ladder match open? The one that was that was New York as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, last year. Yeah.
If the ladder match opened, I thought the ladder match went on like second or third.
Maybe second.
If it opened, then it's a toss up between this and that ladder match. I'd say.
Yeah. But still.
Side note: is Sarah Logan married to one of these guys, or am I just saying that because she's a Viking and these people are Vikings?
No, she is. She's married to Ro.
Which one's that? Is that
the shaved?
Is that bald or non-bald?
No, the bald one, yeah.
Okay. Please don't have kids, you two. It'll be fucking ugly. Sorry.
Wow.
This is not married at first sight here, Danders.
She's a bit bigger than what I'm used to. Oh my god.
Danders, where is all this child hate coming from?
No, I'm just looking at a picture of him. I just don't like kids. I don't mind your kid, Greg, because she says fuck a whole lot, so I'm on board with that.
You're not meant to tell people that. I don't post the videos of her saying fuck.
Well, maybe if you did, I wouldn't get so upset with how many you post. It's like the video to child saying fuck. I was going to say child fuck ratio, but child saying fuck ratio. Needs to be more children saying fuck on the internet.
There needs to be more children saying "fuck" on the internet. I can agree with that. To be honest with you,
We're so getting flagged for this.
just so you know, people, Danders, sometimes what will happen is we'll be recording and my kid will want to talk to Danders because despite Danders hating my child, apparently, my child quite admires Danders and she wants to talk to Danders and she'll Danders sometimes will be late for the podcast and so my child will say, "It's about fucking time, Danders."
I can vouch for this.
And it makes me giggle all the time. And then she tells me about animals, and it's a fun time. It's a fun time. I don't hate Greg's kids.
All right, moving on. Velveteen Dream, Matthew Riddle. That Statue of Liberty entrance again. The freaking entrances, man. I love entrances on Mania weekend.
Takeover's just lit for entrances.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Takeover's lit for everything. Like, Takeover is what wrestling shows should be at all times.
Stop saying lit. We're not the Sydney Kings. What? Like, are we 15-year-olds with lit? Like, why are we saying lit?
Yeah, no, I feel like only C-Jaii can say lit because aren't the rest of us in our 30s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lit. I'm good with that.
Did I?
Yeah.
Wait, did I say lit?
Yeah, you did.
I don't even know if I did.
Maybe you were talking about the lighting.
Does it count if I'm dating people in their 20s? Like, that counts, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Because I hang around it.
You are what you eat. I'm on fire this evening.
It's too late for this. It is way too late for this. Yeah, Velveteen Dream wins. He beat Matt Riddle. Like, holy shit. How good was
Bro.
that?
yeah.
Yes.
No,
It was such a good match.
yeah. Fun match.
Like to me, I didn't watch Matt Riddle on the Indies, and to me, watching this match with the Velveteen Dream, yes, I've seen him with other stuff in NXT, but this to me is the pinnacle of what he's done in NXT, and wow,
Right. So for you, Velveteen Dream was the star in this match.
yeah,
Yeah. See, because for me going in, like, these two are the freaking, I don't want to say future because they're kind of now, but these two are like the most effortlessly charismatic people in the entire WWE. Which, I mean, the roster for WWE is ridiculously stacked, but these two have the most effortless charisma out of anyone.
yeah. I'll agree with you on that.
I loved the Yankee pinstripes on the bro as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch.
You know, it's funny, being a World Series wrestling fan down here in Australia, I always find it funny that every time I go to a World Series wrestling show, within the next, 3 months, someone from that show is, high up on the NXT roster straight away. Like, the first show was, Ricochet. He got signed, 5 days later, ends up being on NXT within, 4 months. Same with Riddle. I swear I saw him in, at the Panthers club about 6 months ago, and here he is, already at, near the top of the NXT division. He's just fucking awesome, man. I just love him.
It was
so
3
much.
months ago we saw Walter.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
World Series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what you guys are saying is Joseph Park will be headlining one of the next takeovers.
Well, he was probably booking a lot of the shit today, so he was probably agencying a lot of it. So yeah, World Series Wrestling has this weird the next day, someone's going to WWE or NXT somehow. It's
That's why I don't like when people shit on World Series Wrestling, because I'm like, without them, would we have seen Walter come to Australia ever?
no.
It's come on. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of Volta, the UK title, just the graphic for this match got one of the biggest pops of the night. When the crowd were like, yes, this is happening next. And this match was right up my alley. I think Mikey on the preview show, you called it, man. It was Dunn going after the fingers, Volta going for the chops. When they established that just a single chop is going to knock Dunn straight off his feet. I know the whole match was kind of built around that dynamic, and it was amazing.
Yep, called it my match of the night. Boom, loved it.
Yeah. I feel like Volta didn't... Yeah, it was my match of the night too, but I feel like Volta didn't... oh, wait, no, it wasn't. Holy shit, I'm looking at my notes. No, it wasn't. So Volta didn't sell the fingers enough, right? I felt like they should have done a spot where after a couple of the finger breaks and the finger stomps and stuff, he should have chopped him and then, recoiled in pain.
Yeah, I could have seen something like that happening, but for me, it was just fluid. I just loved it. All 5 matches on this card had a different feel to it. The opener, high spots. The second one was, like you said, effortless, characteristic just moments. This was just pure old school European, just filthy wrestling, and I loved it. Like, it was so good.
Yeah, I really liked how they weaved the power bombs through the match, and then ultimately, the power bomb from the top, and then Volta's splash, and then he gets the big win. So Volta dethroning Pete Dunne after 685 days, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What a fucking reign.
Yeah.
It is the longest title reign in the modern history of WWE. I think it's only like just behind Hogan and Bruno Sammartino. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then we've got the women's 4-way match. So Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, and Bianca Belair. Ultimately, Baszler pulls out the win here. And this match was kind of, unfortunately, the low light of the show. But it was still pretty good. Still a pretty good match.
Yeah, to me, I personally believe that this could have been a little bit better. I would have liked to have seen Shayna be dethroned and sort of move up to the main roster on Monday Night Raw. Because I believe it is now her time. She could move up without any hesitation. But yeah, this was the low light for me for NXT, and it's hard to say because these women are fantastic in the ring.
Yeah, I love every single one of them. But the big thing that I was thinking throughout this match was Io and Kairi need to face Sasha Banks and Bayley. I was like, that would be such a great tag team match. And so I was on the fence. I was like, do I root for the Iconics come WrestleMania, or do I root for Sasha and Bayley? I rooted for the Iconics because, nationalism. But yeah, I really want to see the Sky Pirates versus Boss and Hug. Was pretty much the main thing I was thinking in this match, which, if that's the thing you're thinking in the women's title match, that's probably not great.
Probably not.
For me, with this match, unfortunately, they were put in the old famous death spot match in a card. In between, the third place match, which was fucking hot, and then the main event, which is fucking hot. I think what they did for like that death spot match was great. Like, it was in no way, like, I know none of you guys are Meltzer fans, but in a rating sense, I'd still give this about 3.5, 4. Like, it was no way a bad women's match at all, but it just
not at all.
In terms of the 5 matches on the show, just fell short. But that's fine.
Yeah, well, that's it. When you're looking at it compared to the rest of the matches, and you got to remember as well, Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair, they're both relatively inexperienced.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane have got a wealth of experience there, but. Yeah, so half of this match, essentially rookies, not rookies, but you know what I mean. Like, they haven't been doing it for a long, long time, and so it's. I still think it was a really good match. It's just that given everything else that we saw in this show, it just kind of lacked that spark. And I think as well, the story just wasn't there. The story wasn't great, whereas every other match had a really interesting story to tell.
Yeah, and hot take from me: this is the best women's match of the WWE weekend.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Best women's match, but not best
out of 3. It's the best of
4,
3,
including the Rumble
and the Battle Royal.
I don't count the Battle Royal; it's not a match.
You don't count the Battle Royal.
I don't count it as a match. But
fair enough.
If there's no,
I would argue the women's tag titles was better, but
the thing is, to me, what makes something a good match is if the ending is different. The match should still be good. And I think that we are all going to be a little bit biased with the Iconics winning. The Iconics winning is what made that an amazing moment. I don't think it was an amazing match. I know we'll get to that. But to me,
I see what you mean.
This match would have been fantastic regardless of who won. In fact, the person who I wanted to win least won. And I still thought it was a great match. And I think that that's the sign of what a great match really is.
Yeah. Well, the drama in the final moments, the closing stretch was really, really good. And I also really liked the spots that Shayna and Bianca Belair did around the hair and the corner posts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, even in saying that it was the low light of the show, like it was a 5-star show. So to be the low light on a 5-star show, you could be putting a 4-star match on and be the low light, So it's it's not a diss at all. But then the main event, holy shit, this main event. Like I've seen a lot of people a lot of people dissing on this match. Like, people are starting to turn on Johnny Gargano and stuff, and they were like, oh, it was overbooked, or it was too Superman-like. And I'm like, that was kind of the point. Like, the whole story. So the whole story of Gargano and Cole was, you know, he was supposed to be overcoming his darker side, which was Ciampa, but that kind of got taken away. So then he had to overcome what he would have been if he was the Chosen Boy, right? And the Chosen Boy has backup. And so he had to overcome all the backup, and he did that by being Johnny Wrestling. He didn't have to resort to any of the tactics. He didn't have to drop the knee pad. He didn't have to use the count out or any of that stuff. And he just was Johnny Wrestling, and that was enough, goddammit. And I was like, in the closing fall, I was like pacing around the living room, like falling for even though I knew like this is going to be a near fall, it's not finished yet. Like I'm like, I was all fucking in on that shit. I was so excited.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a head turning match for both of those guys in NXT. Because I watched WrestleMania with a couple of guys that didn't watch NXT, and I showed them bits of that match, and they're like, all right, it's time to watch NXT now. Like, to me, I think this was a head turner.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they did pull the trigger on Gargano. I thought they were going to wait. I thought that, you know, this was Adam Cole's time.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I thought it was going to be Cole walking out with the NXT titles, then we're going to see Undisputed literally do what they said they were going to do and take all of the NXT titles by the end of 2019 with Cole reigning for the rest of the year even. But no, not yet.
Not
No,
yet.
well, I have this feeling that... So I actually went for Cole in this match. Just to let you know, like, I have a little tipping comp with my mates when it comes to WWE events. We even did Supercard this weekend. I got 2 out of 5 for this show. Terrible. Because I did go for Cole in this because I thought that Johnny was ready to come up. Like, for sure, 2 months... Oh, no, not 2 months ago. About a month ago when Blackachet, Johnny and Cole were all... Sorry, Johnny and Ciampa were all sort of doing that Raw SmackDown tag team thing. Surely all 4 of them were meant to be up at this stage, right? Like, I thought that was all but a thing, but with Ciampa's injury, I'm guessing they're now keeping Gargano down there for a little bit longer, but I think Cole should have really taken this and Johnny come up. I think Johnny's due to come up to the main roster, and then could have been Cole's reign, but the moment was there. It was a great match for me. I love the match. In terms of wrestling-wise, yeah, like I said, Walter and Dunn was my match tonight in terms of wrestling. This had a great story, great feel to it, though, which is good because, with TakeOver, all 5 matches, like I said, they're fantastic matches. Where Mania, I hate having to compare it to Mania matches because Mania matches aren't going to be good wrestling matches. They're more of a moments match, right? Like you said with the Fatal 4-Way, we'll talk about when we come up, the women's tag match. Like, it's a moment stealer for us. Like, it's not I don't know. There's hardly any matches on Mania that I went, oh shit, that match is perfect. All 5 of these matches were like, oh my god, these are great matches. So,
but I think that they're different. They're different products.
They are.
And I never understand when people compare them, because one to me is wrestling and the other is sports entertainment. Like, WrestleMania is an entertainment spectacular. Like, imagine having Joan Jett perform at NXT. It would look ridiculous. Like, it would look
Actually, no. No, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'm so sorry. Did the middle of my sentence interrupt the beginning of yours, Gregory?
Yes, yes, it did, because the middle of your sentence was entirely wrong. Joan Jett performing at NXT would be fucking badass.
Anyway, well, Ronda Rousey's never been in NXT, so it would look ridiculous. Why is Joan Jett there? Anyway, I don't see the... And when people already, before WrestleMania had even happened, everyone's like, NXT's already better than WrestleMania. It's like, well, of course it is. WrestleMania hasn't fucking happened yet, so of course NXT is better. Like, yeah,
well, those people are wrong, and I'll tell you why when we get to WrestleMania.
And it's just like they're completely different products. Like, they're booked differently. One is also like a roster of people who work significantly more. They can't put their bodies on the line the way that the NXT people can, and that's why we see such a significant change when people do come up. They're booked completely differently. I don't understand the comparison. You're allowed to enjoy both. They're both different. If they were both the fucking same, then we would have 9 hours of WrestleMania. And 7 is fucking enough. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
WWE matches are like, they feel a lot more samey. Yeah. Right?
I finish NXT matches, I finish thinking, oh my God, that was an amazing match. But I've never cried after an NXT match, with the exception of Sasha versus Bayley at Brooklyn.
Right.
I cried 3 times during WrestleMania. I cried 3 times during MAFs as well, so I'm a crier. But NXT makes me feel like this is amazing wrestling, whereas the main roster, to me, makes me think this is an amazing story.
Yeah.
This is an amazing moment.
Well, see, I cried when Johnny Gargano won. Like, I cried at the close of that match. Because the story was just insane, and him overcoming all the bullshit. And other people, when other people were like, oh, it's just overbooked nonsense, and how could he overcome all that, rah, rah. I'm just like, that's the point. Like, I don't... Anyway, it frustrates me how many people are shitting on it, because I thought it was perfect.
But it's okay if people have different opinions to you, Greg. I know you don't like hearing that, but it's okay if people have different opinions to you.
Yeah, but their opinion's wrong. That's all. Yeah. That's all it is. No, I appreciate that everyone likes different things, but go watch Orange Cassidy is doing something. Don't watch NXT Takeover, because you know what you're going to get. Anyway, let's move on to the next night, the Hall of Fame. Now, I still haven't watched all of the Hall of Fame in full honesty, because of course I was watching the G1 Supercard, and then I kind of just saw highlights and what have you. But I don't know, what should we talk about first from the Hall of Fame, guys?
I'm going to interject here, and it's the same thing when that fuckhead interrupted Survivor Series. I don't want to give any time to the guy who rushed Bret Hart.
Yeah.
I don't want to give him any attention. I don't want to give him any of our time. Someone acted like a fucking moron. That's all I want to say about it.
Can I put a little bit of highlight on Dash Wilder, just like knocking the fuck out of that guy though?
Praise to Dash Wilder.
I was going to say, I'm actually the opposite with the Dash Wilder thing. I think Dash Wilder's was a little bit too excessive. I completely agree with Danders. I think we should just not even make it.
But I mean, it's a big talking topic. So if you guys don't want to talk about it, then that's fine. But I feel like I kind of want to, and so it's one of those things where I feel like if you rush the ring, prepare to get your ass kicked.
100% agree.
I don't want to talk about that asshole, but I want to talk about the Dash Wilder thing, because I think that what all the wrestlers did originally when they all rushed to the ring, fine. I think Dash Wilder just took it that little too far on the way out. And whilst I think Hawkins and Ryder were always going over today, I think they got a little bit of punishment today, because legally, what that guy did to start with, obviously he's got in a lot of shit, but Dash's little punch could create a little lawsuit from... I mean, WWE could just pay it and get the guy out of their life in a heartbeat, but I think Dash Wilder, what he did was actually a little bit over the top.
It was excessive force.
It was a little bit excessive.
You know what, though? You guys think that's excessive, but you see that Travis Brown, who's not even signed to a WWE contract, landed 7 straight punches to the back of the guy's head.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
That was obsessive.
To me, at the end there, the Dash Wilder thing, he was flailing and trying to get away, and Dash made it so he couldn't. I don't know. This is the way I saw it. I'm looking at it, I'm like, that guy's flailing, he's trying to get away, and Dash like, I'm just going to knock this guy out so we can carry him out of here and get on with the fucking show. Just imagine, and I was like, thank you.
I can just imagine his voice just being like, no, whack.
Yeah. But no, I do just want to say, obviously, he was arrested, right? He's put in jail. I don't know if he's out or anything like that, but he's apparently, like, there was tweets and stuff, and so he's been arrested for, like, stalking.
Don't go to his Twitter. Don't give him attention. Don't retweet him. Don't post screenshots of it. You're giving this guy exactly what he wants. He wants to be famous. He wants to be... I'm
not going to link his Twitter or anything. I'm just saying he's an idiot. But even
just saying this, people will go to look at his Twitter and things like that. Don't look at his Twitter. He wants fame however he's going to get it, and I'm choosing to not engage that. People were trying to send me screenshots and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. This ruined a moment for Natty, who's just lost her fucking dad. Like, her dad is dead.
And for her dad as well.
And
for her dad. So.
And it was awful. So let's talk about the people who have actually contributed to the business. Let's leave this. I know by saying let's not talk about, we've engaged in a massive conversation about. Let's talk about the people who are inducted into the Hall of Fame, the people who deserve our attention.
You kind of,
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, you kind of sound like the whole, do we say Vince McMahon? Should we say Vince McMahon? And went on for a couple of minutes.
I know.
That was perfect.
I know.
Perfect. Good segue.
So that's the one that I've completely watched, was the DX induction, and it was fantastic. It just made me so happy. It was just nostalgia. It felt like they haven't changed, even though, like, you know, Triple H is a fucking suit now, and it's kind of weird. But I enjoyed it so much, seeing them. You know, the Vince McMahon stuff, taking shots at AEW as well. It felt so DX. It was amazing.
Yeah, to me, the surprise one was Tori Wilson. Her speech I found very touching and very frank, and it made me sort of want to look into her social media and things like that. And she's a fucking amazing person. Like, she got so much hate on, like, you know, oh, she doesn't deserve it, rah, rah, rah. And it's like, you look at some of the shit storylines. Like, she rocks up at WWE. Her first storyline is that she's going to have sex with Vince McMahon. Then her dad gets fucked to death by Dawn Marie. Like, she was paraded around in her underwear and things like that. Like, she worked with what was given to her in a fantastic capacity. I really loved her speech. If you haven't watched it, if that's one of the ones that you skip through, go back, because, yeah, very beautiful, deserving human. And Stacy Keibler is aging like a fine fucking wine.
She doesn't age. What are you talking about?
No, but she looks like she
stunning.
Looks older. She's stunning, but she also hasn't plowed her face with shit. Like, she looks like a really hot older lady. She doesn't look like she's been, you know, inflated with Botox and shit. Like, you know, like, you can tell that it's been 20 years.
She's aging gracefully.
Yeah, since the Invasion era, and she looks fantastic. Absolutely stunning.
Well, that's it. She and so those two, Stacey and Tori, were the two really that I can't think. Did anyone else come over? No?
Not of the women.
I don't think so. From WCW, they were the only two, and I'm pretty sure they both started as Nitro girls as well. And so anyone who thinks that either of them, but, you know, obviously this year's Tori's year, anyone who thinks she doesn't deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame, and I'm sorry, Danders, sometimes people's opinions are wrong. Like, they are. Like, it's not, you're entitled to your opinion. No, you're wrong. Of course she's had a Hall of Fame worthy career. She was a Nitro girl. She had some major angles in WCW towards the end there as well. I believe she was pregnant, and there was a whole thing with Sean Stasiak. Or was that Stacey Keibler?
No, that was Stacey Keibler, because she was meant to get married. That was Miss Hancock, yeah. She was meant to get married to David Flair.
Yeah. But so but anyway, they were big instrumental players there, and then they came over, and like you said, they did the best with what they were given, and it was a shit time for women's wrestling. And they weren't even bad. Like, mechanically, they weren't the worst that we've seen. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people are upset about it. It's stupid.
I don't understand why the Al Wilson storyline doesn't get brought up with, like, along the lines of Katie Vick, because it's fucking foul. Like, in my recent rewatch of the Attitude Era, someone's dad getting fucked to death is, like, it's so cringe. And it's, you know, like, oh, it's funny because it's Tori, and, you know, her stepmom is hot and her stepmom wants to fuck her. It's fucking cringe. Ugh. Yeah. End rant. Sorry.
I want to kind of highlight some of the older fellas that were on there. DX was cool for the Attitude Era. I'm going to go a little bit back, especially 3 of the inductions that four of them. 3 of them I really love. So when I first started getting into wrestling at the wee age of like 4 or 5, my dad got me into wrestling. Brutus Beefcake and Honky Tonk Man was on screen 24/7 back then. My dad was a huge fucking Honky Tonk fan. I don't know why. I don't know why my dad just...
Is it because he's got long sideburns and his hair's slicked
my dad was a huge Elvis fan, so probably played a big part of it. I love Honky Tonk Man. He was very entertaining. I wish they touched on the Miz with Honky Tonk there, because I think the Miz is one day shy of Honky Tonk's reign. combined reign, I want to say. But yeah, no, he was cool. But he's another guy that he hasn't really aged too badly considering. He actually looked quite decent for his age. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Brutus, on the other hand, looks terrible. He's put on a lot of weight over the years, but another guy that's done a lot of battling with demons. Of course, we had the Hulk induction, the awkward moment with. They didn't show it on the network, but I've read and seen some shots of when everyone stood up and the New Day didn't stand up for Hogan. Fair enough. That's obviously in their complete right to do that. But yeah, it was a little bit interesting that they. I feel like the other older black guys did stand up, but yeah, the New Day chose to sit down for that. And then the Heart Foundation induction. For me, I'm a Heart Foundation mark since since I was a kid. I fucking love Brett and Owen and Neidhart and Bulldog and all that. Obviously, Sour Point where the moment got ruined, but I don't think he got too damaged. Bret Hart is a weird guy. He's one of my favorite dudes of all time. Probably my top 3 wrestlers of all time. But he's a weird guy, isn't he? He's a weird man. Like he's just, you seem so dry, but he's just got so many funny stories, and he's like a weird little smart ass when he needs to be. But it's yeah, I love that. And then Harlem Heat deserves some recognition as well. I love that. Harlem Heat were fucking cool back in the 90s. They were fun.
Yeah, definitely. And so the touring club, let's talk about the touring club, right? Because now it used to be just Ric Flair. And now you've got Booker T, obviously, because he's a Hall of Famer and he's the Hall of Famer with Harlem Heat. You've also got Shawn Michaels is now a touring Hall of Famer, and Bret Hart is a touring Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and
so the club's growing.
All 3 of those could be no, I was going to say no, not all of them. Shawn, Bret, Triple H, and a couple others. They will be triple-time Hall of Famers by the time it's all done.
What else will Shawn get involved with? His stuff with Marty,
inducted as a tag team, singles, and then then DX. Hopefully, one day the proper full Heart Foundation gets inducted.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, X-Pac. Is he a two-ringer? Was he part of the NWO induction? He wasn't. Was he?
I think they just did the original 3 because if you're going to induct the NWO, that it wouldn't have enough stage.
Yeah,
but I mean, X-Pac was because he was part of the clique, so
Triple
that's why
H
it just
will be
stuck
a
in my head.
3-time by the end of it, with Evolution, DX, and himself. Ric Flair will be a triple with Evolution, himself, and 4 Horsemen. So, it's pretty cool. I don't know if Booker will get it. No, that'll be it for him. But yeah, no, it's cool that the 2-ring club is growing. Don't know how.
I would induct Booker T for his shit with Gold Dust like around 2002. That shit was fucking funny. Whatever they were called. Were they called the Golden Truth back then, or was that like their revamp? No, right. That was with R-Truth, dope. It was essentially the same thing, but
Book Dust?
oh my god, that shit was like with the ass cream.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was an entire mood. I just wanted to touch on, because you mentioned the New Day. Big E was a fucking mood throughout the whole show. Anytime he was on camera, he was fucking cutting loose. He was like, at one point he's like making creep eyes at the camera, and then it moves slightly to the left and you can see he's got his whole fucking leg in the air. Like,
and he didn't have shoes on.
Mood.
He didn't have shoes on for like half the night.
Yeah. And I think I saw a tweet that he's actually cleared his beef with Hulk Hogan. I saw a tweet of his, which is nice. That's nice to hear, because it's like, it's fair enough for us to, or for me to hate Hogan, because I don't ever have to interact with him, but you don't want to have to go into events. It's obviously WWE are keen on bringing Hogan back. So it's nice that if they've got an opportunity where Big E has gotten to speak his truth to Hogan, and that's been reconciled.
And on Big E's fun at the Hall of Fame, I was watching that the watch along earlier. They did that watch along on YouTube again. I'm not watching all 5 hours. Yeah.
They did?
I'm only about an hour and a half in. Yeah.
Huh.
They did, but
They didn't
had a
advertise it at all.
I don't blame
Yeah,
them.
I love it. It's so
I
fun.
like them. I think it's
love
fun.
it. I can't stand the host. He's a douche. But the the first four matches I've gotten through, Big E and Woods were in when the SmackDown tag titles were on. They were actually in the room and eating before they had to go, obviously, do the Kofi stuff. But Big E actually mentioned that he actually got a little bit reprimanded for his behaviour. So I think he got in a little bit of trouble for being too cheeky there. So, but all good.
Because it's probably the first show, like the first WrestleMania, where he hasn't actually been performing, so he could probably get cut a bit loose on get on the beers a bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can I just really, speaking about Big E, I just want to point out real quick how adorable he actually looked when Tori Wilson came out, and he was like full waving at her. He's like, hi.
And that was another cool moment that Big E had when Tori wanted to thank all the boys that have gone through puberty with her, and Big E's one of the first ones standing up clapping. It's like, yep, that's
Yeah. Let's move on to WrestleMania. That note.
Just one last thing on Hall of Fame. My main thought throughout the whole thing was, did Teddy Long book this Hall of Fame? Because it's nothing but fucking tag teams. It's just, I was just like, I'm going to put you in a tag team Hall of Fame. That was like my whole thing watching it. Anyway, yeah, let's definitely move on.
Let's move on. WrestleMania 35, starting with the pre-show, I suppose. I think I'll say what I want to say at the end, or when we get to the end of the show, because I think that's when it becomes relevant. But Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese starting this really pissed me off, because it's 6:30 in the goddamn morning. I haven't had a coffee yet. I've just gotten out of the shower, and I'm like, oh shit, it started. I fire up the TV, and the entrances for the Cruiserweight match are already happening, and I'm like, what the goddamn shit is going on? It's not even 7 a.m. yet. And they're putting Buddy Murphy on, and it pissed me off.
It could have got on the main card somehow, even a 10-minute match. The Battle Royals and the tag team should have been the pre-show, and the Cruiserweight should have moved up. Sad, but we've got to mention about the Hall of Fame really quickly. Just going back two steps, Brooksy on the red carpet, fucking cool.
Oh my god!
Brooksy on the red carpet.
Yes,
while we're talking about Buddy, it's safe
Brooks.
to go back for 2 seconds. Fucking Brooksy on the main carpet. Loved it.
Calling him Matt and breaking kayfabe. I'm like, fucking Adam.
Wow.
Yeah. But I want to bet that he had his fucking filthy grass flip-flops on under that ill-fitting suit that he had on.
His dad's suit.
Yeah.
Back to the match.
Yeah. But back to the match. Yeah.
Fun.
Any thoughts here? Because Buddy Murphy, obviously, no longer the Cruiserweight champion, which also bums me out, because, he's objectively, and this is, I mean, obviously we have bias here, but he's objectively better than Tony Nese, right?
Just a little.
So
I do want to make a quick announcement for a review from the WWE Universe. I'm going to stick to my word that once Buddy Murphy lost the Cruiserweight title, I will be boycotting 205 until it goes back to him. Congratulations, guys. You now cover 205.
No, I reckon we're seeing Buddy tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll show up.
I hope so.
I assume it's going to be Raw, because that's where his bay is.
Yeah, I mean, they could stick him on SmackDown, because that's where Mustafa Ali ended up, and looks like he's, his push has ended. So maybe Buddy Murphy will step into that role. Maybe he's going to get the opportunity. I think
Buddy's more suited for Raw, actually. He's got that look about him. He's got that juggernaut feel, like the feel that you often see on Monday Night Raw when it comes to the hard-hitting guys.
He looks like Kurt Hawkins. I agree.
Hey, but Kurt Hawkins is on Raw now, isn't he, too? So, it kind of fits.
I suppose. Then we have the Women's Battle Royal.
I'll make a little note. Respect the hand.
Sorry.
Sorry. I want to say I disagree a tad with the subjectively that he's better than Nice. I want to say that whilst we are Aussies, and I love Buddy Murphy, I really do, we have glossed over the fact that Nice is fucking awesome. I'm sorry, but Nice is cool. I've loved Nice since his fucking TNA days years ago. I think he's, yeah.
Who's in TNA?
Didn't go far, but he's fantastic, and despite the sadness that Buddy no longer has a title, Nice is fucking talented and deserves to have a title in some way of his career in 205. So there's positive.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I love Nice, but sad that Buddy lost it, obviously for the Aussie connection, but I don't want to gloss over the fact that Nice does deserve it.
Yeah. Good thing none of us saw it because it was at 6:30 a.m. in the fucking morning. Then the women's battle royal, Carmella wins. I guess Ember Moon still works here. Sonya Deville stood out little, and the Riot Squad were stars, but that was about it.
This was actually Ember Moon's return from injury. Because she got injured in the women's Royal Rumble match. So this was her return to the main roster.
Yeah.
Oh, at least it's not just like they haven't had anything for her. That makes me feel a bit better.
Yeah.
See, I thought they just didn't have anything for her, and I was like, oh, she still works here. That's nice. That's good to see.
And they did that in the men's
Ember Moon's
Rumble.
fantastic.
Yeah, sorry, I can say Rumble for some reason. They did that in the men's battle royal as well. So with one person coming back from injury, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. No announcement, nothing. Cool. No, that's fine. But yeah, no, this was fun. Fun battle royal. A couple of NXT girls. Candice LeRae got a little mini mania moment to start with, and it was Shirai and Sane in it? I don't remember seeing Shirai. Sane was definitely in it, but
yeah, no, I think it was just Pirate Bay who was in it.
Pirate Bay,
yeah.
Who was the person that they just kept randomly cheering? There was like one person, and it was like not someone. I think was it Sarah Logan?
Actually, she got a good rub out of that match.
Someone was just like someone, not anyone that you would think was just getting randomly cheered, and I'm like, oh, this crowd is going to be wankers.
It was just super over with this specific crowd. I didn't even pick up on that, to be honest with you. I was still like coffee was just kicking in. So
weird choice for the winner. Like it's a battle royal that Naomi still hasn't got her title shot from last year, so obviously they don't mean anything. But weird choice for the winner. I don't know if Carmella is really the right choice out of all those people. Like Ruby could have done with that. Sonya could have done with that win. Mandy. Don't know. Also, Mandy looked fucking gorgeous in this, just saying. Jesus.
My fucking pick for the winner wasn't even fucking in it.
Who was your pick?
Lacey Evans.
Oh, yeah. She was on the show, at least.
I thought for certain. That was like the one thing that I was fucking certain. I was like, Lacey Evans is going to come in. She's going to...
She did show up, though. She showed up later and walked out and then walked away again.
What a wonderful moment it was. I'm so glad that she didn't go in the match designated for women, that she just went in.
We create moments at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Revival, Hawkins and Ryder, they didn't even make the main show, but yes, Hawkins wins and okay, I see you flashing the hand. Yeah, Hawkins wins.
Woo.
Boo.
I am a Hawkins mark. I've loved Hawkins and Ryder. Hawkins a little bit more for nearly 10 years. I fucking love these two guys. They are super nerds, and whilst everyone was like, ooh, the Revival, I don't give a shit about the Revival. I care about Hawkins and Ryder in this. They deserve... Well, Ryder's had a few mania moments in his career, but they fucking deserve this Hawkins and Ryder. Hawkins has been a fucking man taking that many losses in his career for this thing.
269 to be exact.
Like, who comes back to WWE, signs a contract and says, hey, I'm going to fucking lose 200. That is solid respect to that man. I love this team. And also, I copied Kurt Hawkins' style for my wedding. Just putting that out there. But anyway, that's just enough.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, OUTBREAK NUTRITION. OUTBREAK NUTRITION are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at Outbreak Nutrition. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout. Alright guys, just before we get started, I want to take a second to tell you about a game I've been playing on my iPhone. You can get it on iPhone, you can get it on Android, all the tablets and what have you. It is called the Muscle Hustle app. They are good friends of the show, and they were hooking us up with codes to sort of help you guys get ahead if you were to decide to play the game. But unfortunately, in the latest software updates with iTunes and what have you, the codes aren't working. So we're trying to get that fixed. But in the meantime, if you click the link in the show notes and download the Muscle Hustle, it's a fantastic game. It's you collect wrestlers and train your wrestlers up, all with unique individual gear and everything to raise them through the ranks from jobber to superstar to legend. You go around collecting the titles, and you can even play with your friends. So unfortunately, no leg up to offer you, but if you hit the link in the show notes, it will let them know that we sent you, and it'll help us out, it helps them out, and it helps you out because it's a really fun game to play. So check out the Muscle Hustle app on iOS, Android, and all your mobile devices. The link, of course, is in the show notes. From everything I saw, though, he wanted to continue the losing streak. He didn't want to win. Every interview he's in, he talks about how much he loves doing the losing streak, how it's given him something. Now that he doesn't have the losing streak, he'll have a 4-week title reign with the least important, least effective titles in the entire company. Even less effective than the Cruiserweight title, because at least the Cruiserweight title, they have solid reigns and good matches, right? These Raw Tag Team titles are literally pieces of shit.
They're figuratively pieces of shit.
Well, yeah, okay, Danders. Just getting on me about my literal... Whatever. Anyway, how does this help him at all? If anything, this hurts him, because in 4 weeks, he's back to just being another guy at catering.
Yeah, but he gets a fucking moment. Like, he gets to have a belt at WrestleMania. Like, who fucking cares? No one cares about the losing streak anymore. Like, once the whole shit with Baron Corbin happened and then they made him a fucking ref. Was that him?
That
Get them all confused.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck.
Was it? No, it was Heath Slater. Yeah, see, that's another one that looks like them.
Anyway. No one cares about it anymore. It's not like it's a weekly thing. So fucking put the belts on them. Yeah. Raw needs more tag teams. Raw has fuck all tag teams. Please let them get Blackachet tomorrow.
My argument is, if he had have kept losing until he retired, right? He gets up to 800 losses in a row, 900 losses in a row, just lose till he retires. That's Hall of Fame worthy. Nothing else he's going to do will be.
I don't want to see a spot on a main card going to a guy who his whole gimmick is that he loses all the time. That's not and when does he retire? How do you know if he's going to retire forever? Especially since he's not wrestling all the time. It's not like he's getting a huge amount of wear and tear on his body.
Yeah,
anyway, we've got a lot of matches to get through, fellas.
Well, I don't know. Podcasts take a lot of toll on your body. Anyway,
also go listen to the major podcast.
Andre Battle Royal. Andre Memorial Battle. Andre the Giant. God damn, I'm tired. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Braun Strowman wins by eliminating Colin Jost. And the only other note that I have here is No Way Jose okay? What the fuck is up with his hair?
No, he stole Naomi's old extensions. Yeah. And, yeah.
He's Naomi part 2. We've decided that.
Yeah.
They're going to start doing twin magic?
More 7-second dance breaks. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
To me,
I don't know,
this whole thing was just a clusterfuck of, these people still work here. That's all I thought. Yeah. Tyler Breeze. Shelton,
Connor and Victor.
And fucking the entrances, the Hardy Boys entrances like in that time of the actual match, like the time that they took to get to the ring, that time in the match, like half the people were eliminated. I feel like there was like 6 people eliminated in the first minute.
Yeah.
Can I just point out a random ass fact about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale? I feel that Heath Slater deserves a victory in this. He has been in every single one and is the only superstar to be in every single one.
I agree. No,
that is not something to be
Heath
proud
Slater
of.
is also in my Hawkins book. I love Heath Slater. He deserves a little bit more someday. Like, I know he had that little cool SmackDown run with him and Rhino and had that little moment, but he deserves another. He deserves another one.
He's got kids.
He's the only person left out of the original Nexus too, if you think about it. Like, Husky Harris doesn't count because he's been rebranded as Bray Wyatt. Curtis Axel is no longer part of Nexus because he was rebranded from Michael McGillicuddy. He has been the only person from the Nexus who has kept his role going. He deserves a WrestleMania moment.
Why? No, I'm sorry. Staying around because you have nothing better to do does not mean you deserve something.
Mediocrity shouldn't be rewarded.
No, not
especially
at all.
when we as a collective can't fucking tell the difference between him and Kurt Hawkins.
I did enjoy the I need this job, I got kids. That angle that they did, that was funny. Yeah. Like, I enjoyed that and I wanted that shirt. But beyond that,
I got a counter argument to agree with C-Jaii here on this, actually. That there is a man that later in the night, whilst not as jobberish, revived his career out of fucking nowhere and won a fucking WWE championship.
Are you talking about the longest reigning tag champion, or one of the longest reigning tag champions of all time?
No, that is not.
Are you talking about the Grand Slam champion, the guy who's won every belt, the one who's done nothing, who's won every belt?
But nah.
Mikey getting wrecked. Mikey's on the receiving end of Danders' wrath. I like this.
Don't fuck with my boy Kofi.
I'm saying Kofi deserves it more than anything because he's been there for 11 years and went through a lot of shit.
I'll tell you who he does deserve it more than. Heath fucking Slater.
Yes. See, no, Kofi doesn't deserve it. Kofi doesn't deserve it because he's been there 11 years. Kofi deserves it because he's been there 11 years and he's produced fucking gold for every single one of those years. That's why he deserves it.
I kept cutting you off, Mikey. You know I have so much love for you. Please continue with your terrible
Heath Slater can perform at that level. They're just not giving him that time. He can perform at that level and he should be given it. Look at someone like Miz. He was buried twice in his career and revived himself. Why couldn't it take 2 or 3 months of booking to bring any of these guys back up to main roster? A main event. Jinder Mahal was a fucking horrible jobber for years. He became a WWE champion. Yes, he's been squashed back down to a jobber, but it'll take him about a month or 2 to become a main star again in a heartbeat.
But he was only a main star for that. I don't mean to pull the race card, but they were going for a market in
any man or woman on the WWE payroll can be a superstar if they're given the right TV time and right push. And I'm sorry, but Heath Slater.
But it has to be organic. Like the whole thing, and as I said, we're going to get into this, and I think C-Jaii and I touched on it on our podcast. This is the first time that I can remember that you had people in the main matches cheering for the faces and booing the heels. And you cannot force that. And we've proven like the last 5 years, you cannot force that. People only cheer for Roman Reigns now because he had cancer. And that's horrible. But that's the fucking truth. Yeah. Like, he got pushed down our throats for 4 years. He had 4 main events in a row at WrestleMania.
I want to say 4, yeah.
And like it took cancer to get him over. These things, you can't force people to feel these things. And with Kofi, it was accidental, and then it was so organic. I don't think that you're going to get that from Heath Hawkins. I'm merging them together. Heath Hawkins. You can chuck Curtis Axel in there as well, because he just fucking goes in there as well. I know he's not a ranger, but yeah.
I also just
See, Zack Ryder, don't give Zack Ryder the same treatment.
No,
Zack Ryder's
actually different. And Zack Ryder had his moment, and people got really excited for him because it was organic and it was, Anyway, end rant. What's next? The Battle Royal was fucking shit. The Battle Royal was shit.
Yeah. Well, we've spent way too much time on the pre-show because the pre-show should be fucking nixed as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the main show. Alexa Bliss kicks things off, well, after the national anthem, of course.
It's not the national anthem, it's America the Beautiful. Well, it's not the national anthem.
What's the national anthem? America the Brave?
Star Spangled Banner.
Star Spangled Banner, right. Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. Whatever. After some patriotic nationalist stuff and some helicopters, which, plot twist, they come back later.
Spoiler.
I always say wrestling needs more helicopters. Yep. That's definitely... what the fuck
Isn't Cesaro... Is Cesaro a helicopter on his own?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. But Alexa Bliss kicks us off and says, she wants Mania moments. And so she just has to snap her fingers because she's in charge today, blah, blah, blah. She snaps her fingers and out comes Hulk fucking Hogan. And I'm like, that pre-show was shit, and this first segment is shit. I want none of this. This WrestleMania is shit already. I'm angry.
Credit to the people of the Sporting Globe Richmond who were booing ferociously at this. The booing.
Of course they were. It's Melbourne.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
People just boo Melbourne.
Can I just...
Meanwhile, in Queensland, everyone went wild.
Can I just point out real quick how adorable Alexa Bliss looked like? Hulk Hogan was one of her idols growing up. And for her to be able to do a flex off with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania, she just looked like right in the moment. She looked good for her. Like, she was so excited. And good on
Pops, you know me, I'm a Hogan mark. I loved it. It's perfect. He didn't overshadow anything on the card. It was just a couple of minutes. It was perfect.
He was completely unnecessary.
You wouldn't have
completely unnecessary.
Hogan. Anytime Hulk Hogan comes onto WrestleMania,
we did it for like 10 years.
We do it for 1,000 years. As long as Hulk Hogan's alive and WrestleMania's alive, they go hand in hand.
I have a conspiracy theory, and this is going to go to conspiracy theory, Greg. Hulk Hogan wears bandanas that have hair attached to them. He's completely bald.
100%. 100%. I'm
because the hair is so straight and dense at the bottom. I'm like, that's fucking attached to that bandana. That's not real. That's fuck. Yeah. He is bald as fuck.
As of now, when I say I'm getting my conspiracy hat, I no longer want people to think of a detective's hat. Because it was never
definitely
a tinfoil hat. I've got to make that thing. It's no longer a detective hat. When I reach for my conspiracy hat now, it is a Hulk Hogan bandana with the hair attached. That is the conspiracy hat that I keep by my bed. No, but then Paul Heyman comes out, and I was like, fucking good, get this out of the way, because this is going to be shit too. And then it was good. I enjoyed it. Lesnar and Rollins. Nice, relatively quick opening match, because, Lesnar doesn't want to work here anymore. And they just fight around the ringside for a while. The match actually starts, and Seth wins with 3 curb stomps, nice and quick.
Solid opening.
I was so happy that this wasn't like further down the card, because I really didn't want to wait around for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. And he didn't want to wait around for you. So
I don't blame him.
Yeah. Do you reckon he actually stayed at the arena for the whole show? Or do you think he was actually legitimately
he legitimately left. So on Instagram, there's a video of him literally getting in his car with his suitcase and everything and going. He apparently left. Yeah, but he apparently left the arena. Well, I don't know, but good on him for playing that part, though.
Yeah. I don't think it's a part. I don't think there's much acting involved.
Not with Brock Lesnar.
I just want to say, with that match, Seth Rollins did his homework on Brock Lesnar, and it showed, and he did it well. When you face Brock Lesnar, especially at a Mania or whatever, it's basically the only Mania with Brock, but when you face Brock for a title and you want to go toe-to-toe with Brock, you do 3 finishes. 3 finishes, takes out Brock. You're not going to beat him with 1 or 2. You do 3. And, Roman tried. He used about 5 spears and still couldn't beat him. But yeah, it takes...
Yep.
You know
but
it's fake,
he didn't
right?
go for a pin. He just kept doing it.
You know that it's fake,
It's still
right?
real to me, damn it.
Check. You know it's fake.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Triggered.
Did his homework like he's studying Brock Lesnar matches at home.
Oh, you're going to do that one, eh? No, Mikey, it was in the script.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll go back to shitting on Greg now. I don't feel comfortable shitting on Mikey.
Danders, you're trying to channel your inner Cyrell, and it's a bad move.
I know.
Stop making maths references on my goddamn show. AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Cool. AJ being ready for all the RKOs was good. The phenomenal forearm to the outside popped me huge.
Oh, yeah.
And then he did one again inside, and then he won. AJ Styles wins. This match was kind of meaningless, and it had the potential to steal the show, but didn't.
It was on too early.
Yeah.
This show started way too strong.
I think the US title needed to switch spots with this one.
I agree with that.
Yep.
I'm gonna fantasy book at the very end and tell you what I would have done with WrestleMania because it's too long.
Do we get Greg's shit booking too?
Yeah, we're gonna do Greg's shit booking. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's
Stop stealing my gimmick
because it's not shit at all. So AJ Styles wins. Nothing really to talk about there. Usos versus The Bar versus Blackachet versus Foreigner. That's what I'm calling.
That's racist.
Rusev and
two other foreigners in the match.
That's massively racist.
Wow.
Why is that racist? There's a band called Foreigner. I'm calling them Foreigner. It's a tag team name. We've got to give them a tag team name, don't we?
I thought they were called Rusev and Nakamura.
Are you telling me that Vince doesn't say, just book them against the Foreigners?
Yeah, but do you want to be using Vince McMahon as like your pillar for racial like sensitivity? It's like if Vince McMahon says it,
probably
okay.
Not. Yeah, probably not. No, I guess that's probably not a good idea. But no, it's this was a really good match. This is where the show sort of started to obviously Lesnar and Rollins was good, but yeah, AJ and Orton sort of took me out of it again, and I was on my second coffee now, and I was starting to feel good about WrestleMania.
Second coffee, and it was my second beer. I was keen.
There's obviously, to me, there was two massive highlights in this. The Cesaro spin with the Sheamus chops in every corner was insane. That was like it was the perfect amount of like technical wrestling with, or not technical, like he's fucking spinning him, but like wrestling with humor. Like it was like very well done. It made people like laugh while still being like, holy shit. So
yeah. Okay. So I know, Danders, you're going to get up me again because I'm going to bring up my daughter here. But my daughter had two observations in this match that I absolutely loved.
Only had two, why is there 7 videos?
I said in this match. She had two observations in this match. And the first one happened before, but I'll hit that second. But just to relate to what you were saying with the swing and the punches, she was like, Daddy, wrestling's really silly. And I'm like, yes, it is. That's why we love it. But the other thing that she said that stuck with me was at the beginning of the match as they were coming out. And I was asking her who she was going for. She said The Bar. And then Travi kept saying the bar. And he was saying The Bar when like Ricochet was on TV. And she's like, no, that's Ricochet. No, that's the Usos. And she was explaining to him which ones were the Usos and which ones were The Bar. And she said the Usos are the white ones. The Bar are the black ones. Right? Because she's looking at their trunks.
She doesn't see color.
Well, no, she does, because she's looking at their trunks. She's looking at what they're wearing. Joke, and I just thought it was nice, all right? Yeah, I was just like, it was just one of those moments where I'm just like, fuck.
I'm guessing you said that in front of her.
The other moment that I really enjoyed, sorry, Mikey. The other moment I really enjoyed was just when they were fucking kicking each other. Everyone was just taking a turn to kick. They were just doing one kick after another. That was really entertaining. That was lots of fun.
Yeah.
It's like their version of a super kick party.
Oh, God. Gimmick infringement.
Super fun match for me. Like I said, I watched that little bit of that, the watch party, whatever it's called, and I just watched Casey Catanzaro watching two little moments, Ricochet making his debut at WrestleMania. She got a little teary and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's a nice moment. And then her face when he was getting the Cesaro helicopter spin thing. That her face with that was just
the
like
spin. Yeah.
Okay, stop it now. Something like she's with Tozawa and Apollo, and they're just like, holy shit, this is going for way too long. This is fucked up. But no, really fun match. And then can we also now solidify Usos as one of the greatest tag teams of all time? Like, no, I'm saying of all time. I'm
Was
not
there a
saying
debate
recent years.
about
I'm saying of all time. They're in that all-time discussion now for tag teams of WWE. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you all time for the
talking
Usos.
about
They are
comparing them with
fantastic.
Demolition and Heart Foundation and Rockers and all those.
The Heart
guys.
Foundation.
I think they're up there with one of the, in the top 5 tag teams of all time in WWE. Easy.
I think it's hard because they're in an era where tag team wrestling is respected less than in some other eras. But yeah, no, 100%.
Awesome moment from them. Loved it.
Yeah. So then we get a look at the Hall of Famers. They come out, they do their whole stand on the stage thing, and then we get Shane versus Miz, which was just a beautiful clusterfuck.
Yeah, that's a perfect description.
Yeah.
That really is.
I loved this match. This was one of my favorite matches on the show.
It was a fantastic match. Don't get me wrong. Like, there were some fantastic spots in this, and I didn't think that Miz could get that mean and have that mean streak that he had. But this was a really good way to sort of bring that out, and I was proud of him. I was very proud of him.
The ending was very good as well. I was really impressed with how they did the ending. And I think that we have definitely not seen the last of this feud.
Oh, no, definitely not.
No, and it gave me the WrestleMania X7 vibes, because that was the last time I remember explicitly people, climbing up the production scaffolding. Was Undertaker and Triple H did that at WrestleMania X7, and but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and the suplex onto the stage was a big holy shit moment, because the thing is with Shane, when he does his big dives, he can control his body as he's falling. When he's getting suplexed, like, especially because I feel like he's a bit heavier than Miz as well, and so there was a lot of potential for, rotations to go wrong, and that could have ended very badly for everyone. And gladly, it seems like everyone's okay, but that was insane. And obviously, Shane picked up the win, even though he was on the receiving end of the suplex, because he ended up on top when they got
It just
down the
worked
bottom
way
there.
too well.
Yeah,
We're not going to hear the end of it at all. SmackDown, he's going to walk in with like crutches, and he's going to have like a black eye, broken rib. Miz is going to be fine, and he's still going to be like, "I'm the best in the world."
I thought this was fun, really fun. Are we going to get more from Mrs. Dad? Maybe like Mrs. Dad versus Shane in a match somewhere?
God, I hope not. God, I hope he goes back to Cleveland.
Speaking of Mrs. Dad, I just found a photo online where it's, I don't know if you guys are a fan of the Avengers, but Endgame posters have just been released where it's got the Avenged the Fallen logo, and it's just that in front of Mr. Miz.
Oh, there's
Trips in
another
the
one
ring,
for when Batista stacked
yeah.
it going into the ring. Avenge the Fallen. That's pretty solid.
I do have to quickly
strikes
say there was a
again.
cool
That was
moment on
great.
Twitter
Yeah.
where when Mrs. Dad comes in and he has a photo, Matty Wahlberg retweeted that photo and said, "Still scarier than Party Boy Jack Jordan." So I like that. That was cool.
Because Mrs. Dad has quite long hair, and he's like holding his fist like 3 meters apart or whatever. I was just like, this is not putting your hair up and squaring up, mate. You need some tips here.
Go talk to Sonia in catering before you
Yeah.
get back out of here.
Yeah, maybe get a haircut, Dad. Anyway, and Durant. This match was also fun.
A really good spot on this, which I have to say props to Shane for taking it, was when he took the monitor, he bounced himself over the barricade, onto the ATV, then onto the concrete floor.
Yeah, onto the golf cart
that would
thing,
have fucking hurt.
Yes, it would have. Not as much as probably the best bump of the night was Ronda, but that golf cart bump was very close. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. The tag team title match, women's tag team title match. And we, of course, had the champions, Sasha and Bayley, defending against Tamina and Nia, Beth Phoenix and Natty, and the Iconics. And the Iconics win, and all of Australia erupted in loud as hell cheers.
Yeah, the Sporting Globe went fucking off. From what I saw, the cheers bar in Sydney went fucking off. They did they didn't say that they're from Melbourne, but they did, when they said they were talking about how the Iconics were from Australia, and they're like, yeah, and it's breakfast time in Melbourne right now. I'm like, do they think they're from Melbourne? Because I'm sure there's going to be like everyone from Sydney is going to be very upset about that.
Yeah.
They get builders from Melbourne a lot though.
Mate, is that to do with Super Showdown? Do we reckon? Like,
I think that's
I think
mainly
so.
because I think one of their talents, when they were getting scouted, their shows in Melbourne were what got them noticed. So potentially that could have been what it was.
because you would think, because it's not even,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't
even
know.
like, you know, like they're not from a city, like they're from a bigger city than Melbourne. It was just odd.
I think it was a case of they wanted to call them
or
hometown girls when they went
Yeah.
to Melbourne.
Sometimes can get
So
to be a little bit strange on commentary. But look, for me, the match wasn't fantastic. I have to say the moment is the best moment of the night, or one of the top 3 moments of the night. But the match itself wasn't exactly perfect for me. There's something missing in that match. I think half those girls, I mean, Natty and Beth, I know they were there for the nostalgia part, but they didn't need to be in there. Like, why couldn't we have someone like a Riot Squad in there, or Mandy and Sonia, Nia and Tamina? Like, Nia's fine. I don't get all the hate on her. I know she can be a little sloppy from time to time, but she's a star in her own right. Like, she deserves her moments, but I don't know. There's something just missing for me in this
You know
match,
what, though?
other than the moment, obviously.
What I hate to admit, though, as much as these girls do deserve this moment, I have a slight feeling they're just going to be a transitional champion. I feel like they'll only hold the belts for maybe like a month before they get handed over to either Simone Slaughterhouse or to Riot Squad.
To be fair, and I'm not sure if it was on the predictions, I think it was on the predictions cast, we were talking about the Iconics are if they want to take them down to NXT as well, the Iconics are the most organic to do that, because they are still only relative. I think they got called up about this time last year, didn't they? Was it the pro show?
yeah, and they haven't main evented things and stuff like. Oh, I mean, they were elimination.
Yeah,
chamber,
they haven't had. This is their first big moment, apart from their win at Super Showdown, which was only big to Australians. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they are the most organic to filter between the shows, because I don't see them separating anytime soon. Whereas Bailey and Sasha, they could separate at any time. Let's be real. And Nia and Tamina, if they separate, it will be because Nia's going to be doing her own thing. So I think that it was the right choice if they want to have them on the 3 brands.
Yeah.
I think they're the best girls for it.
Some cool little tweets. Like, I saw a little tweet from Shazza like 7 years ago. Her and Billy Kay, were in the Wrestlemania crowd themselves 7 years ago. And here's Shazza sitting up in the stands herself, watching her now win the tag title. So that's kind of a cool moment and stuff. And I saw straight after the match, a couple of hours later, them thanking Robbie and Maddie Eagles for everything that they did for him on that. So it's really fucking cool to think that 2 awesome local Sydney girls who are doing the same thing that girls like Jess Troy and Steph DeLander and all the girls in Melbourne and that are doing, and here they are on the main roster winning a title on the main card of Mania, which is it's super cool.
Yeah, and this is why, screw you, Danders. This is why it was really special to me to watch with my daughter, right? Who was like, "Oh, they're from Australia," right? Because she understands Australia. She knows that she lives in Australia, and it was a very cool moment. And the main event was a very cool moment for similar reasons.
I saw
as well.
the On the Turnbuckle Boys tweet, biggest moment for Australian wrestling, which when I read it, I was like, that's a bold call. And then I was like, well, what is bigger? I couldn't think of anything that's bigger. So this, to me, the biggest moment for Australian wrestling. My favourite part was actually after the show when they're crying so profusely and they're trying to interview them. Yeah. And, like, Peyton's trying to remain heel. And she's like, this is just such an amazing moment for us. And I can't believe that we're here oh, but we deserve it.
I can.
But we deserve it. And then it was
Yeah.
like, but it's like, just take the moment. You can go back to being heels
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, there was. It was all peeled away. You could not. Yeah, it's very special, just like it was at Super Showdown. They are highly emotional. Tears were shed. Speaking of tears being shed, Bryan versus Kofi. I'm gonna upset Danders again here, but Bryan versus Kofi, the real main event of WrestleMania 35.
Oh, sorry.
No
Oh,
argument?
sorry. In my head, I was posting that low quality bait meme.
I feel like this was the real main event. This is the real main
match
event,
of the night,
right?
to me.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing, beginning to end. I loved everything about this match. The story they told was fantastic. Just towards the end with the MMA style sequence and stuff when he went for the label lock the third time, and Kofi got him around, was hitting with the forearms and stuff, and it just felt different to everything else that we'd seen this weekend. And I loved everything about this match. And obviously, Kofi wins. Kofi wins, new WWE champion, Grand Slam champion, and obviously deserving of it. Kofi Mania, etc.
Congratulations for Kofi. Like 11 years in WWE, hasn't had a single look at the WWE title in that long, and he's pretty much got handed this opportunity by chance because of Ali's injury. And then the crowd just took it and tore the house down with it. And now look at it. We got rid of that shitty hemp belt. Like,
don't act like you don't want the shitty hemp belt for your collection.
I do, but that's not the point. Like, to me, that hemp belt was not the WWE Championship, and Daniel Bryan shouldn't have held it on for as long as he did, but I'm glad that he held it till Mania, so Kofi got his moment. And congratulations on nearly killing himself too. Holy crap, that jump from the ring apron to the table, ooh, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, I don't normally pay too much attention to Uncle Melts, but it'll be interesting to see what he gives this match.
Look.
Oh, yeah.
Because to me, I don't know if it's just like my feelings involved, but to me it's a 5-star match. There's nothing I would have changed about this match.
I do want to point out as well, when it comes to WrestleMania, New Day always come out and have these huge entrances. They didn't this time. This was more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was for Kofi.
Yeah, because previously we've seen them come out of cereal boxes and shit like that. I think maybe, although post-match it wasn't like enormous either, although they had, when the kids came in, and then Rebel walked into the room and started throwing T-shirts at people. It was a good time. That was obviously only where I was.
There will be a championship celebration 100% on SmackDown.
Yeah, but I actually noticed that too, like how much of a humble sort of entrance it was. It was really good. I really liked it.
Before I praise Kofi and the New Day, there's two things I want to say. Daniel Bryan, considering that 1 year ago today, he was probably the most over guy on the roster. To fast forwarding a year later and probably being one of the most booed guys on the show, outside of like Brock and Ronda, but that's different. He has completely reinvented himself. That last 3 or 4 months of his reign, or whatever you want to, however many months, he's been fantastic. I love the heel Daniel Bryan. Give us more of it. Please do not change it. Don't take Rowan away from him. I love the tandem between the two. I would actually like to see them go on a bit of a tag run somehow. Speaking of tag, another little thought of mine was after their performance on SmackDown last week, why didn't New Day get a tag title shot in this Mania? Big E and
Just make it about Kofi. I was fine with them not getting a tag thing. Just make it about Kofi. I think they wanted to be there for Kofi too.
Yeah.
It was all about Kofi. This was Kofi Mania. Nothing to do with New Day.
Again, I guess. After that, they should fight for that. And now, but Kofi. Awesome match. Really fun match. Really good moment. Absolutely deserves it. The post-match with Woods basically taking all the tears. Like Kofi hadn't even dropped a tear, and Xavier's like just bawling his eyes out. Just amazing moments. Really cool. And his kid has got so much freaking personality. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Throwing shirts into the crowd like a fucking professional.
Which I appreciate. No, give that kid 15 years and he'll be in WWE for sure. He's got so much personality. But, how cool is it the New Day are the world champions? Or Kofi is, but New Day have... No. It's New Day. You see the post-match interview for the backstage. Kofi's like, this is for the boys too, and blah, blah, blah. For New Day to be holding a title where 5 years ago, like on a chance meeting that they decided to throw this band together, became one of the best tag teams in the whole company, and now holding a world title within that stable is pretty fucking cool.
But not even just that. Sorry to interrupt. Not even just that. It's just New Day were hated. Well, not even hated. Like, they were mocked when they first came in, when they were like the power of positivity. Like, before they turned that into a thing.
Yeah.
That started off because that's what they would like bang on the mat when there was, and then people would be like, "No, they suck." No.
Yeah.
That's where that came from. Like, they morphed something that was forced upon them, like this kind of church choir version of the Nation of Domination, I think is what it was originally booked as. And to turn it into the merchandise pancake-powered fucking machine is such a credit to these three individuals.
I don't know where the fantasy booking goes with this. Like, I've got so many different ideas in my head. Like, do we see like a Shield, similar like a 3-way match one day for the title before Kofi ever drops it? Like, do we see Big E and Xavier turn somehow? Do they keep the New Day machine just going and going and going? I don't know.
No.
Like, there is so much they can do with this, with that, and it's just cool seeing the title.
I don't see him holding it very long.
No, New Day is forever, and the money is in the chase with a face like Kofi. Like, he's not going to be a long reigning champion.
No, especially with Money in the Bank, I guess, coming up as the next pay-per-view. Someone wins the Money in the Bank, probably takes it straight from...
Yeah, I could see him dropping it to Joe in a couple of months.
Yeah, that'd be fair.
Yeah, would probably be.
Or someone that comes over
the Miz.
from Raw to SmackDown in the trade, like someone like that.
Yeah, or from NXT even.
Yeah.
Who knows? Let's move on though. From here, we had a couple of matches that I don't really even feel deserve too much talking about. Rey Mysterio versus Samoa. Sorry, yep.
Hey, I just want to, my hands up. But apparently, according to Mikey, fuck the system. No. It sounds like you've been putting your hand up too, and I'm like, I'm gonna
unclicked his hand.
So did I, to be honest.
Mikey's
there the whole
in front
time.
of the class. He's like, his hands up, and the teacher's just like, look, ignoring. It's like, no more question. Please save your questions for the end. Put your hand down.
I just want to touch on something real quick. So I watched a lot of reaction videos for Kofi winning the title, and one that stood out the most was from two gentlemen who were signed at the same time as Kofi Kingston. That was MVP and Shad Gaspard. Those guys were at a pub watching the event together, and when Kofi pinned Daniel Bryan, they both physically bawled into tears. These guys have so much respect for Kofi Kingston, and I honestly think it was amazing that they were able to see this moment happen, not only for their friend, but for everyone who was in that section of never looking at a world championship before.
When you said those two names, I wanted to be like, who? Who?
All right, let's move on to a few of the matches that don't really need to be talked about too much. Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe. Very quick. Samoa Joe wins with a Kakita clutch.
Which lasted exactly a minute.
Rey's still hurt, maybe?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he is.
And then Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Roman wins, lol. But now people are okay with it because cancer.
Nope, I still booed.
Okay.
Yeah, but you cheer Hulk Hogan, Mikey. No shade. You cheer Hulk Hogan. So, like...
Well, no, it's just...
I don't know.
Drew is one of my favorite dudes in entire roster. He should be in the fucking main events of every fucking pay-per-view that they have.
He's one of the most underrated big men.
He is. He is an underrated big man. He's a beautiful big man. He is. He's
apparently has no hair.
Who has no hair?
What?
Hogan has no hair. Oh no, Drew's
Sorry,
got beautiful luscious hair. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He does.
No.
Drew's
I
got
would love
hair.
to see a Sorry, I keep interrupting you, Mikey. I have no respect for the hand system. I would love to see a rehashed angle of like the Edge and Booker T Japanese shampoo commercial, but for Roman and Drew, like for their beautiful, luscious black wet manes.
Right. Always wet. Always wet. Speaking of always wet, Elias is up next.
I thought you were going to go to the women's match. I'm like, Gregory. Gregory.
Why would I jump to the women's
I
match?
don't know.
Wouldn't make sense.
Because that's where my brain jumped. Yes, Elias.
Elias gets me wet. No, so he came out. He did the whole concert thing, right? And it was just Elias with Elias, and it was amazing. And I was like, this cannot get better. Like, this is a WrestleMania moment for me. This is the greatest thing ever. And then some weird video plays with Babe Ruth and World Series.
Babe Ruth calling his shot is not some weird video.
Okay, but I don't understand the relevance here.
Well, because he's in New York City.
Yeah,
like,
what was the
they're
relevance
in New
for
York
this?
City, but what's the relevance to what's about to happen?
Well, John Cena was calling his shot.
Yeah.
That's what Babe Ruth in that match points to where he's going to hit the ball.
I understand this.
Well, because you're saying you don't understand.
Yeah, no, I understand this, but how did that relate to John Cena coming out?
Why didn't you ask your daughter? She seems to fucking know everything.
Speaking of sick burns, John Cena comes out and just destroys Elias.
This was amazing. This was
This is my favorite WrestleMania moment ever, I think.
Non-wrestling
WrestleMania
moment for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, definitely.
When was the last time a crowd of people cheered for John Cena? Unironically.
like unanimously as well.
Yeah.
Like there was not a boo in the place.
Yeah, well, considering the night before they had a Cena sucks chant at the Hall of Fame, and the very next day everyone's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, Cena, yeah!" Like, what? That transition,
basic thugonomics.
It's because it was basic thugonomics. If it was the other music that if it was My Time Is Now, he would have got booed. But it was that music, and everyone was just like, "Wait, what is going on?" Because think about it. Elias is a rock version of what John Cena was then. He comes out, he says some funny shit, everyone loves it, and he goes away. He wrestles less than John Cena did back then. But it was so fucking perfect. Like you could not put like this is better than putting like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock out to open a WrestleMania back at whatever it was, 31 or whatever it was. Just shit's all over that. Like this was amazing in every way.
Line was a zinger.
Yeah.
Every line was a moment.
Yeah, I liked what he said. You look like my nuts, but with a hairier bush. That was my favorite.
Yeah. I have enjoyed him shitting on his own movies because, let's be honest, most of them have been shit except for maybe two. That have been entertaining.
Wait, you mean The Marine wasn't a good movie? Come on now.
The Marine
was great.
Is my Marine.
The Marines.
What about the movie where he slept with Amy Schumer?
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
That's a good one.
Of them. And then Cockblockers is quite funny, and he actually
haven't watched
steals
that yet.
His comedy. If he stays away from the action shit and just does his comedy, he's actually.
Hang on. He was in that not Matty Wahlberg, but the Wahlberg movie about the dads.
Yeah, that's Cockblockers,
and that was good too.
Daddy's Home.
No, not Cockblockers. Daddy's Home. That's it.
Oh yeah, that's also good. He with his comedy stuff is gold. Like he needs to stay away from that like action movie, like Batista, crappy looking movies that Batista's doing. Other than Guardians, that's different.
Wait, hang on. Batista's Kung Fu movie that's coming out looks fucking badass.
Bad, not ass.
Guys, we're pushing an hour 30, so maybe we should move on.
All right.
Apart from like running through Batista's fucking filmography.
But but WrestleMania peaked here, right? We can all agree on this. John Cena, this was the pinnacle, and I started to get tired here. So then Batista and Triple H, Triple H gives himself the big Mad Max entrance. They did some pretty good stuff in this match, like blatantly not ripping out a nose ring, but pretending that they had. That was fun. The announce table spot was good. The ripping out the nose ring really pissed me off because it was so obvious. You saw the ref crawl over to Hunter and give it to him. Like, it was really obvious.
Yeah, that was just shit timing on the camera.
It was a cool idea, but yeah.
Yeah, it was almost as good as a screwdriver and a stretched ear.
No, that was infinitely better. The screwdriver and the stretched ear is infinitely better than ripping out the nose ring. But yeah, ultimately Triple H gets the win, which I don't think there was any doubt because his career was on the line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've seen
he wasn't losing that
on social media. Batista has 100% called his career too, so it was really a career versus career match from the sound of it, but they just didn't announce it like that. Batista called his career. He's done officially.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how old he was. I can't believe that he...
Yeah, because he started
he's
old.
50, so him, Shane McMahon, and Triple H are all the exact same age. They're all within like 8 months of each other.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is John Cena's up there too.
42.
Like, you guys...
Yeah, he's younger.
But my point being is that you don't realize that all of these guys that... Personally, I started watching back in 2001. They're all, like, pushing, like, mid-40s, early 50s. And I'm like, holy shit, half these guys are still going.
Wrestling's different now.
Like, I'm 25, and I can hardly move now.
Yeah. But no, they're Supermen anyway. I mean, I honestly believe that John Cena is going to live till he's 150. Like, he's a freak. He's a freak. Anyway, then we move on. Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin wins. Okay, cool. Anyone have anything to say about this?
Baron Corbin was always going to win. Kurt Angle's a traditionalist.
Yeah, it's his last match.
I don't agree in the way that they did it, but anyone who thought Kurt Angle was winning this match was like hasn't watched wrestling before.
Yeah. Then we get Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor, the Demon Finn.
This card went forever.
Right. This is a tiny thing that pissed me off, and it's the only note I have about this match. Bobby Lashley's eyes pissed me off.
He looked like a fucking Xbox.
Yeah. I didn't get that.
But it was like I'm about to face the demon, so I'm going to put these contacts in that take away from... I don't know. It was like, Finn's meant to be the guy that does the weird shit, dude. What the fuck are you doing? I don't know. It bummed me out because I was tired and I didn't want to see this match. And but Finn Balor wins. He's a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. It's a thing that happened.
Congratulations. It was a really good moment too because I was wearing my my Demon King shirt as well, and at the start of this match I didn't realize it was next. I was actually holding my Intercontinental Championship belt, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of fitting.
Right? Why are you holding belts while you're watching a wrestling show?
I was moving them. I was like putting them away because I like pulled them out and put them around my TV, and I'm like, this feels like WrestleMania because I normally like decorate my house for WrestleMania. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is like WrestleMania, and then I'm putting them away because I'm getting bored now.
Show tomorrow, I think. Surprise, Danders! We're doing a call-in show tomorrow, hopefully. And I happen to know because I got some messages today. I happen to know that one of our you're going to feel personally attacked, C-Jaii. One of our subscribers wants to talk about people who take wrestling belts to shows.
Oh my god, there were so many fucking people with belts at the sporting. One guy had 2. And I was like, that's like $1,500, mate, that you're just doing.
Is that just 2? Melbourne, I had 3.
Did you go to a pub? Did you take your 3 belts to a pub?
Yes. Mainly because I didn't go back to the hotel first.
Yeah,
but yes.
See, it's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
But we'll let Chapo say how weird it is. We love you and respect you, C-Jaii. Moving on.
I think, sorry, just on one topic, Megan, one of the girls I know who comes to all the Melbourne shows, she had a belt at one stage and Avery like ran up to her because Avery was at the Sporting Globe and like very gently spear tackled her and was like, if you bring a belt to a show, you have to defend it. So that was very funny. I think there's some footage of that on Avery's Instagram story. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I thought it was fun. Moving on, we get the attendance, which is 82,000 plus, and we get a 7-second dance break, which I've only kept this in here to talk about because they used Shazza McKenzie's NXT theme.
Oh, really?
For the 7-second dance break. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Odd choice. Odd choice.
Weird flex, but okay.
I thought it was the same music that they've always used.
Is it?
Yeah. It's just they don't normally play it for so
Yeah,
long.
I thought it's the same
They don't
music.
normally
Okay.
play it for so long.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it was the world's longest 7-second
Anyway, then
dance
we get
break.
the main event. Becky, Charlotte, Ronda. It didn't feel like a main event. The crowd were completely dead. There was a lot of sloppy spots in this match, to be completely honest, but I still really enjoyed the match. Like, the match itself was fun. Ronda's bump off the apron was fucking crazy. I'm like, she's dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
that looked like
well-
it hurts.
How she didn't break
Yeah.
her neck,
Well,
I do not
I've
know.
seen reports that she is injured. Like I don't know if that's the injury. I haven't looked into it, but has anyone read into it, or so I've heard that she has been.
No, I have not looked at the news today at all.
I haven't heard anything. There's nothing on the sites that I sort of follow. There's nothing that's been announced for it. All I know is it wasn't the match didn't finish as it was supposed to finish.
Yeah, I heard that Becky was supposed to tap Charlotte out, and now Ronda's pissed because she looks.
Yeah,
weak
that's
or
what I've
whatever.
heard.
Right, and so it was sort of because that's what I was going to say. The finish was weird, so it was sort of called on the fly. We think.
Yeah, I follow an old school
Yeah.
WWE referee on Twitter, Jimmy Corderas. He has a great podcast. So one of the reasons I got into podcasting, I love him. Anyway, he tweeted that something about he said, "Oh, that was a really awkward count." So I think, unfortunately, the blame is going to go on the referee. I expect that referee to not have a job going forward soon because, I
don't think it'll be that drastic.
He sent down NXT.
Isn't it the job of the referee to call what happens, regardless of the result? Isn't that?
I've heard that as well, but I know from hearing an old school WWE referee kind of calling that out, I was like, "Oh, hang on, okay, so something must have gone on there." But yeah, I love Charlotte's entrance. A little bit of throwback to her dad's entrance at the Great American Bash '85 or '86. I can't remember what year. With the helicopter and the red carpet. Ric Flair had the exact same entrance.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. Charlotte did her job fairly well in this match. I thought she was fantastic.
Can definitely see why Charlotte was inserted into the match. As much as we shit talked it, her athleticism, she brought athleticism, the showmanship to the match. Like, Ronda's obviously very athletic, but she's a fighter as opposed to a performer. And when it comes to women's wrestling, Charlotte is just unmatched as a performer.
As an overall performer.
Would you call her one of the best women's wrestlers in WWE history? Like, would you put her in that? Yeah.
Oh, unquestioned.
Yeah.
Unquestioned.
Yeah.
And I don't think it hurts that she's fucking 8 feet tall. Like, just that she's so athletic, but she has such a presence, which someone like Sasha Banks is just never going to have because she's so small. And
Man, I think Sasha Banks has presence though, because she's scrappy. That's the word I use for Sasha Banks. She's scrappy, and you can. There's all kinds of presence that you can have.
Yeah, but I feel like when you see Charlotte do a moonsault when she's a giant human and she's so graceful, watching Sasha Banks pull off a scrappy... No disrespect to Sasha, I love Sasha, but she's just never going to have the grace and the finesse that Charlotte has, just based on being so athletic at her size.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. But I just took exception to you mentioning Sasha, because Sasha was like one of my favorite wrestlers for a long time. But yeah, that's WrestleMania, man. And I feel like I'm sick of WrestleMania being 8 hours long.
Cut the pre-show. Cut the pre-show. You don't need to defend every single belt. I get that they're trying to get everyone on the card, but that makes it less special. For me, with the exception of the John Cena part, from the WWE Championship match to the Women's Championship match was fucking filler.
Yep.
Like, it was just dull.
So I talked about Greg's shit booking earlier, right? This is what I would do. And I think a lot of people will be upset about one thing that I'm going to say here, but move the 2 Battle Royals to the Hall of Fame. Right? Keep the ring format for Hall of Fame and break up some of the speeches with these Battle Royals that commemorate someone. Right?
Cool.
And then
No,
And
that's
then
dumb. That's dumb.
I mean, no, but it's just I'm just trying to figure out a way to get everyone paid on the weekend.
You have
this
60 people there who are going to be in formal wear. Are they doing the battle royal? Are we having an evening gown battle royal? Like
Fucking
an
A.
evening gown match?
Yes. Why
Yeah,
not?
I'm on board with that. Just put it as a bra and panties match for men and women. Fucking makes sense.
100%.
Anyway,
I don't know. I don't know
what's
the
other
specifics,
shit
but then I'm saying, take WrestleMania back to 4 hours, right? And like, so a lot of these things that you had announced because there was story to it and stuff, like you can have that Lashley and Finn match, you can have Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin, you can have Roman and McIntyre, you can have the US title, and have those as the matches advertised for Raw after WrestleMania. And then everything else that's going to happen on Raw after WrestleMania is a mystery and a surprise. And then this show is a nice, tight 4-hour show.
And you don't need to have one person should have an entrance that goes for more than 2 minutes. It should be limited to one person per show. You don't need to have every second match having a 5 to 10 minute entrance. It's ridiculous.
And it should always be Triple H every year.
Yeah, Triple H or The Undertaker. Like someone who like the Charlotte thing was cool. Actually, that even wasn't that much of a long one because they showed that and then they brought someone else in. Yeah. But like Braun Strowman, fucking cut Lacey Evans. Like that's not fun. It's not fun. And it's like I get that these things are only like 3 or 4 minutes at a time, but you add it up and it's like if you have 10 of those segments, that's nearly fucking an hour.
Yeah.
That's an hour you can just cut. Anyway, sorry. Speaking of cutting, we're going on very long.
You don't need everyone on the card either, because that's the other thing, is having 2 4-way tag team matches. That's a lot of entrance time, man. It's It bums me out. I want WrestleMania to go back to 4 hours. I'm sick of this 8-hour bullshit. You don't need everyone on the card. I'm sorry, not everyone can get paid. Be better.
And you know what else we don't need as well? We don't need 14 different fucking commentators.
Right. We didn't even
like that's another like 15-20 minutes that you could have just cut because they're like, oh, here's another bit of music. As soon as Paige's music hit, I'm like, oh shit, is she gonna be the manager for someone coming out? No, she was on commentary.
Yeah,
I'm like,
had them, but not had their music. Like just be like, hey, it's Paige, she's on commentary.
Yeah, like you don't need to announce it. It's just waste of time.
But that's WrestleMania, guys. Let's do the rounds and let people know where they can find us, starting with C-Jaii.
Guys, you can find me on Facebook at CJ's World and on Instagram at CJ's_World.
Big Boy Mikey.
At B+_Big Boy on Twitter and Instagram.
And Danders.
At Danderfield on Twitter and Rachel Danderfield on Instagram. You know the thing about the Facebook thing. I'm fucking tired.
I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B+ Wrestle on Twitter, B+ Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review. Thank you so much for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not done with this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list. Oh my God.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Yeah.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold 2. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Yeah. Hold 3. The moss-covered 3-handle family grungle.
Mamma mia! It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4. Arm bar.